What training equipment do fighters need for strength and conditioning programs? I'm asked this a lot, so let me quickly break down the 23 essential items you'll need for world-class athletic programming and the 7 optional items that I also recommend. And before we get started, there's a one-page reference sheet complete with pictures to go with this, so don't worry about writing it all down, I'll save you that grief. Some items are super cheap and others need greater investment or access to a commercial gym facility, depending on your circumstances. But if you have these items available to you, you can optimize every athletic quality you'll need as a fighter to an elite level. And I'll share these in context of the modules from my online program. So for the range of motion module, for finding and correcting any mobility limitations you have, you'll need the light, medium and heavy resistance bands, and these are the continuous loop type, made from different rubber thicknesses. And a tennis ball that we'll use for self-myofascial release and some other uses in the main program too. And a foam roller that we'll also use for self-myofascial release in the program. And optionally, a yoga block too, that we tend to use as a spacer for the self-myofascial release balls to get at different heights to get into different areas of your body. And next, for the preparation block of training, which resets your body and gets you ready for the rest of the program, you'll need that tennis ball for some of the mobility exercises that we've got, and the foam roller too, but we'll also need a skipping rope and a Trx suspension trainer or something similar. We can use a weight training rack with a barbell to achieve that effect as well if you've got access to those. But those items aren't actually needed for the rest of the training in this particular block. And a kettlebell, and the size will depend on your current level of strength, and a dumbbell, again depending on how strong you are for the exercises given in this block. You'll also need a stopwatch, either a real one or just an app on your smartphone, and optionally a heart rate monitor that we use for some of the cardio conditioning that's also in this block too. And if you want to know more about putting together your own prep block, you can get free access to my Starting Muay Thai Strength and Conditioning video course at heatrick.com, and I'll put a link to this in the text with this too. Next, we have the gear you'll need for my performance testing module to see how you measure up and where you need to do the most work. So again, we'll need that stopwatch, either an app or a real one. We now also need a barbell, and Olympic barbells are preferred because it allows you more flexibility with some of the other lifts later in the program. You'll need weight plates, ideally Olympic bumper plates, again because this gives you more flexibility but not absolutely essential. And I advise you get up to a total of 2 times your body weight in plates. That will give you everything you need going forwards. Then we need a flat or an incline bench. You'll only need a flat bench for the performance testing, but in the rest of the program, if you've got an incline bench, it does make it easier. Also need either a power rack, a half rack, or squat stands, because this will allow you again to do some of these heavy exercises and have the bar in a position that you can safely use without getting yourself tired as well getting into position. And my preference would be the power rack if you could get hold of it. It just gives you more flexibility and it actually allows you to train safely by yourself too. You can set the safety bars at the correct height so you don't get in trouble. You'll need a chin-up bar. Again, if you've got a power rack or a half rack, that's actually on the top of your frame there, so you've got that included. And then optionally, we've also got a treadmill, a rower, or a stationary bike for the fitness testing. But again, you could do this running outside if you need to. And in terms of measurement, we also need a measuring tape for jump distances. And now for the main strength and conditioning program, there's not a hell of a lot more you're going to need in addition to the items we've already covered. So we've got the barbell and the weight plates, preferably Olympic like we've discussed before, the flat or incline bench, which again, incline bench if you can get it, but there are ways around it with a flat bench if you've got that. A power rack or a half rack or squat stands. Again, power rack is the preferred option. The chin-up bar, but we'll also now need a range of kettlebells, which will depend on your strength for a given exercise. So you'll need to experiment to find that. And the same goes with dumbbells, with a range depending on what you need for the specific exercises. We'll also need a dowel or a broomstick for some of the warm-up exercises and to coach you through some of the exercise positions, and a plyo box between 12 to 32 inches high, depending on how explosively powerful you are, and you can use a flat bench as well if you really need to. Medicine balls are also required for power development, and I advise 2 and 3 kilo balls, and I actually prefer the bouncing ones for the majority of the exercises. It gives you a bit more flexibility. We then also want some low hurdles, which will actually be in the phase 1 of the program, and then medium hurdles for the phase 2 as we're progressing through, and then high hurdles depending on how high you can jump when we take things further still. In phase 2, I also start to use a stability ball for some different exercises as well. And in phase 4, I bring in some agility ladder drills too. We've then also got the optional conditioning items of the treadmill, the rower, the stationary bike, and a heavy punch bag as well. But like I say, these are optional. You ultimately could use running for all your conditioning sessions. It's a case of working at the right intensity for the intervals given. And I've also got a couple of standalone modules that hardly need any equipment to get real strength and conditioning programming. And it's all portable too. So I'm going to run through those as well. So firstly, the cardio conditioning program module needs a measuring tape or a measuring wheel so that you can measure out your shuttle distances. You need an interval timer app that's going to give you the start and stop times, and a camera phone or a video camera to count the number of shuttles that you're doing in the testing sessions, and also to check what your technique looks like on your shuttle turns under fatigue. And then optionally, some marker cones to mark exactly your shuttle distances as given in the program, but you could use anything to mark those out. And for the Trx Suspension Training program, we've obviously got a Trx Suspension Trainer or something similar. There's lots of really good cheap alternatives to that around now, and it's super portable. Very, very useful. This program is designed for you to be able to take it away on holiday or to Thailand where you're training there and there's no strength and conditioning equipment and still get some decent training. You have the option to use a yoga block in this particular training block to space up the massage ball up off the floor to give you more flexibility there as well. And that really is everything you're going to need to get an elite level strength and conditioning program as a Thai boxer. So that's all we've got time for now, but if you've got any questions or want to check out our library of free articles and videos, head over to heatrick.com, where I'd love to help you reach your Muay Thai goals. Catch you soon.